In today's class we will be taking another subject and we will be trying to simplify it and then narrating it in watercolor using our own color scheme. So we may not really follow the color scheme that is there in the reference. We may try to modify it. It's our choice. Okay, so this is today's reference. So I will try to copy the content of this. So ideally what I would do is I would try to decide a frame, a portion of this image, and then decide what area I need to pick it up. Okay, so ideally what you should do is you should decide the frame according to the watercolor paper that you have. Okay, how do you do that is we take L-shaped papers and then we make the selection. Okay, so this much seems to be good for me. Okay, it is slightly sliding because of the angle. Yeah, I think this is good enough. This will be our selection. So what it is, when you see it, actually you will find that it is almost same as this entire frame we have taken. So only maybe as a small portion from this side we are cutting, very small portion. See, why we took that frame is the length of the frame that we take, the length of the frame and the height of the frame should depend upon the length of the watercolor paper and height of the watercolor paper. So that means the width to height ratio of this should be same as width to height ratio of the watercolor paper. Okay, so whenever you take any photograph reference, you can decide what should be the frame based on this particular aspect. Okay, now the next point is we will make a pencil sketch, a rough kind of a thumbnail sketch based on this particular thing. Alright, now we have the frame here and we have the sketchbook here. How you do is we have to make first a frame within your sketchbook. So this drawing will be very rough sketch. Okay, so this will not be very refined sketch, something like you want to show your drawing skill. No, this is somewhat very rough sketch just to clarify our ideas. I mean, just to understand how various elements will be placed in your final painting. So it is just to make certain decisions, to simplify the things. Okay, so this we have roughly made a frame, and this frame should be equal to whatever frame we have decided. See, if you remember, around this much was our frame. Okay, so if you look at this frame and the watercolor paper, they all should be somewhat maybe matching. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay. So to make it little simple, maybe I'll just crop it so that we don't have to really worry too much. So I think we have made it up to this. Now let us make a drawing. So if you remember, as I always tell, we have to ensure that the elements are placed with appropriately comparable size, okay, proportional size, and it should be placed in the proportionally at the correct location. So if you shift the house, of course you can shift the house if you want, but if your objective is to retain the position, then we will have to carefully check where this particular small hut kind of a thing, structure kind of a thing, okay, this security kind of thing, I don't know what it is exactly. So we have to understand the position of this. So to locate that, what I would start with is I will look for if there is any clear lines that is visible within the frame. So I find this as almost a line, right, and that line is almost at the center. Okay, if you look at here, this line is almost at the center. Maybe this edge is slightly raised, but this is almost at the center. So what I do is I will just take the center and I will make a light mark here. You remember that this line doesn't really touch here, okay, but you can correlate this with to this line somewhat. So this is somewhat the rough line. Okay, now we have one more sort of line here, which is again half of this. So you take a half of this and make another line. Okay, this you shouldn't make it very hard. Okay, these are some guidelines that we are making so that we put the things at appropriate place. Okay, now what I need to understand is we got this line, we got this line. So basically we almost got the base of this. We almost got this particular height. Where the roof of this hut starts, we got that line, but we should know what is this line. So if you really look at, we see the this particular whatever is hanging, it is almost at the center, so it should be little bit away from this. Okay, so if you really mark this as a center, okay, if you just make a straight simple line as this, then you see how much it is. Maybe 1, 2, 2.5 kind of a thing. So let us make this maybe somewhere here. You don't have to measure it. Somewhere here we will have to make this particular thing. Now you have all the information to make this particular hut. So what I will do is I will just make this particular line. Okay, and somewhere here you have. Now you can make better judgment by I think it goes a little high and it comes something like this. Okay, right, now you have one wall here and another wall here. So if you really look at, this is very narrow kind of I'm talking about this particular wall. There is a plane here, there is another plane here. So if you really look at, this will be the wall. There is some kind of a structure here. Okay, and some kind of, see this corner we have to be little judging properly, and for many of other things you may not need that much of accurate decisions. Now if you make this, there is something here. Okay, so I'm making that one, this particular structure, a small kind of I don't know what it is. It's a concrete slab kind of thing it is. Okay, now we have to make this particular definition, and now this is something that dark, and if you really see, this seems to be a corner, and behind this tree there I can visualize a corner, something like this. So I'll just make this corner here, and it is somewhat coming like this. You see this line. Maybe you can zoom your reference image, zoom the reference image and you can see. Okay, this is a corner kind of thing, and here now you have a kind of door. Okay, door, and that door. Okay, and this particular, this is somewhat after the door, somewhere after around this place there is a slight corner here. Okay, so this is a kind of a hexagonal kind of a shape. I think I really do not know what kind of shape it is, but this is the kind of shape. Okay, now we have, okay, so we will alter it little bit when we paint it. We will not make it this complex. We will probably consider this as a tile or something. See, we can take our own decision. Okay, Now we have some kind of gate here. Okay, that gate is somewhat like this, and we have a gate here. Okay, you have a lot of things here, but I would probably make it very simple. I'll just make some straight line sort of a gate. I don't want to make it very complex. Okay, so maybe some gate like this. Okay. And some wider bars at the edge. Okay. And if you really look, there could be some kind of a shadow or something here. Okay, so this is a gate. Okay, so if you want, you can make make those curved stuff and all. I'll not decide it now. Maybe I'll do it later. So a portion of the gate is shown here. Okay, so I'll keep it for now. We'll decide whether we need to really do it or not. Right now I'll just keep it like this, and I'll just mark it something like this, so that this is closed and this portion is opened. Okay, now if you see, there are some buildings and other things at the background. Somewhere here you have this particular road, and maybe there is some auto going this side, and maybe I'll make this auto facing this side. Okay, so it is up to you, and we can always make it facing this side. So that somebody probably came towards the gate in an auto, and maybe he is coming to us, coming inside. Maybe he is walking inside, something like this. Okay, there are some foliages here. We'll not make all those details, buildings and all those things. We'll just suggest some foliages here, some kind of a tree or something. Okay, so we'll not make it too much complex. So we'll just give some suggestion. I'll smudge it with my finger. Okay, so that there is something at the back. That's it. And now comes some of the details here, and we have one main idea here, which is the tree. So we want the tree here, and we please don't draw the entire what you call it as entire the tree foliages as individual stuff. Just make it as a single thing. Okay, single foliage. So maybe what you look at this particular shape, this is something like a rectangle, right angle here. Maybe somewhere here I'll make, we don't even have to worry about this also, but I'm just trying to get some shape of the tree. Okay, and here it is having some foliage, and that's it. So what I will do is, around this particular line I will make some foliages. I'll make some foliages here. Okay, some foliages are coming here, some foliages are hanging. Okay, and some foliages are here, some foliages here. Okay, now it is mainly a darker area, and there is some big branch, something going here, another big branch coming here. Okay, and another big branch coming here. Okay, you don't have to, I'll not worry too much about this when I paint, but this I want to suggest because it is something which is very big. Okay, so what I will do is, I'll just kind of shade it with the dark, this one. This will be one entire dark volume. Okay, there are a lot many other branches also. lot many other things, other smaller branches, which will not really worry too much. Now let us shade the entire this one. See, we will treat this as an entire volume. See, it is a large tonal volume. That is what you have to consider. You don't worry about each step. Okay. Now, if you really look at this entire area is little darker. Now, what I would do is I will make. See, there is a window kind of thing here. I will maybe suggest that one. Okay. Now, there are some darker steps here. There are something dark here. Okay. Now from this onwards it is fully dark. Okay. Now in fact this entire thing is dark, slightly dark, and from this onwards it is more dark. See, we have to make the darks really dark, otherwise you will not get the feel. And now we can probably make something for this. Okay, and we need to make some good shadows. So for the shadows, I wanted to make a little bit more light on this. So what I would do is I would try to get some shadow, some defined shadows for this building, assuming that this light is coming somewhere from this side. So I will probably make some darker shadows here. Okay, and there will be a lot of shadows for the trees here. And it is very shadowish. Okay, so you can smudge everything now. You don't have to really do this much if you are regularly doing the painting, but since this is a kind of demonstration and also I am trying to explain the process, I am taking a little bit of time, but otherwise you don't really have to worry this much. Maybe this was a little bit wrong, the decision we took. If this is the case, if the light is coming from here, this area also will be dark. This area will be a little darker. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind. Okay, this will be a little darker. And now we haven't placed the door, so I think we'll have to place the door also now. We have to place the door here. There is something on the door, and if you really look at, there is a guy sitting here, I mean on the some bench kind of thing. So he is in fact blocking the door. I think that won't be a good idea to block this door. So what I would suggest is let us shift this guy somewhere here. We'll still keep the bench. We'll still keep the bench here. Okay. we'll still keep the bench sort of thing here, and he can sit here. Okay, we are making darker tones here, but he can sit here. Okay, maybe there is one more guy can sit here or stand here, talking to him, and maybe there is another guy standing here. Maybe he's taking care of who is coming from inside and who is not, etc. So basically this is the kind of tone that we do, the tonal study that we do, and we can go for the details in the painting. Okay, so maybe we can compare this road, and maybe I would say I am very interested in putting a lot of people, so I always tend to add a lot of people. And he can also have some shadow here, and he can also have some shadow. The Ochre can also have some shadow. I think this way we can give we can come out with the painting. So okay, so this is the kind of tonal study. We can now do the painting part. Okay, now we will draw on the watercolor paper. So the watercolor paper, what I am using is a quarter sheet. Quarter sheet means it is 15-inch wide and 11-inch height. So I am using it in landscape mode. So we will draw the image as a very light sketch on the watercolor paper. So see, now I have a lot of clarity from here. I have a lot of clarity from here in my mind. I will just try to do it fast, do the sketching fast, and in that process I might make some alteration. So I think that should be okay, because we are not very much sticking to the scene. So we are accepting any alteration, we are accepting. Okay, so that should be okay. This is the top line, maybe that is the top line, and somewhere here is the base, and somewhere here we have the building end, and somewhere here we have and somewhere here. Here we have, and somewhere here we probably have the corner. Okay. And so I am taking a decision to make it a tiled one. So I'm not. I'll probably make this as a tiled structure, and I will make some tile here. Okay. Okay, somewhere here we have the other plane. So somewhere here we have the door. Okay. And somewhere here we have the gate. Okay. And somewhere here we have the distant foliages. Somewhere here we have the auto, very light drawing. Okay. And the people and all will make it later. Okay. And somewhere here we have that the bench and some guys sitting here. Okay. So rest everything will make it later. And somewhere here you have all the big trees. Okay. All those things will make it. And somewhere here you have the foliages. Okay, now I think we are pretty much done with the drawing. This much is sufficient for the drawing part. Now coming to my palette. So my palette contains this much color. Usually the colors are organized from cool to warm, not strictly. And this is cerulean blue, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, mauve, violet, sap green, olive green, burnt umber, raw umber. It is supposed to have raw umber in my palette, burnt sienna, crimson red, crimson lake, orange. This I don't use, but I think some residues of lemon yellow is there, Indian yellow, which is an orangish yellow, yellow ochre, raw sienna, vermilion red, and this is some blue. I think it is Prussian blue, some residues. Okay. Sometimes I mix crimson lake and Prussian blue to make some darker tones. Okay. Now coming to my brushes. This is one round synthetic brush. I think size 18. But size and all you can make depending upon your comfort level. Okay, so one big brush will be required. This is a medium round brush. It's synthetic, very pointed, with some sufficient spring action. I mean some elasticity. If you press it, it should come back and retain the shape. Okay, this is a smaller version, medium, of synthetic brush. And usually I take another, this one, a liner brush. So I think I have one more much narrower brush. The size here is 3, but it might differ from brand to brand. I may not use that one. Primarily I will use these 4 brushes. Okay, now let us make the washes. Okay. Now I wanted to finish the wash for the distant thing first and then coming to the normal. So what I would do is I would probably wash somewhere the distant foliages which is present here. I will try to finish that one, and I might also wash this ground. Okay, then we'll go for the remaining. Okay. So for the distant foliages, what I will use is I will probably use some little bit of cobalt blue, very light cobalt blue, and I think the distant foliages have some kind of green there, but I won't use green. I may not use green. Maybe I will use little bit of burnt sienna, very light. Okay. Very light. It looks to be little dirty color. It's okay. Very light color. So I'll use this one here. See, something is there, some foliage or something is there. I just wanted to suggest something here. But the paper that I am using here is Indian handmade paper. Okay, so you could use any handmade paper, I think. Okay, now I want little light here, so I'll be using little raw sienna, a touch of raw sienna. You can see very pale. Okay, I'll just continue this and wash it. Maybe I'll wash it around this auto. I want to keep this auto. See, I'm just trying to merge the things. Okay. And I wanted to make it little the ground color here. I want it to be little, what do you call it as, orangish, I think. See, I'm taking some decision now. You can think of what will look good where. Maybe I'll use a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm just thinking whether I should make it a road kind or not. If I want to make it as a road kind, what I will go is I'll take some violet and cobalt blue. I'll mix it, a violet and cobalt blue sort of thing, and I will start suggesting that it is some kind of a road. I'll use it from here itself, so that some road is coming here. This decision I am dynamically taking, the color decision and all. But the road probably goes inside, and here I want muddy color. So I'll take some burnt sienna and just try to mix it side of the road. There is no clear edge. See, it is up to you what color combination you use. Okay, maybe I'll use a touch of orange, okay, to make it little brighter. See, later I'll mix some other color here. Okay. I wanted little suggestion of road. What I am trying to do is as if the edges are little merging. Okay, this paper takes a lot of water, so that is the reason it is merging very much. Now here we are thinking a lot of foliages will come, but what I am thinking is I will cover the entire area with some sky sort of thing, because when we define the foliages, some white or some gaps will be there. So I want to I don't want pure white in those gaps. So what I will do is I'll just make some kind of a sky there. With this mix, what I'll use little bit of cerulean blue, and I'll just finish it. Okay, no, not too much. I don't want any uniform color, so I don't want sharp blue also there. Some kind of a, you'll find some patches here. I wouldn't mind, because I am envisaging some foliages to cover, darker tones to cover there, so it is okay. I would have done all this in a single stretch if I was not explaining. Since I am explaining, I'll really lose some time, and some of the things will get dried in that duration. So that is the reason I am getting some patches, but okay. So So these patches, don't worry, we will cover this with foliages. Now we wanted something to cover for this. I am in the diagram we decided the light is coming from here, but I would really like to have the light coming from here now. It's a decision change I am making. So some of the shadow, so I now feel that it would be better if I can show some light here on this plane and this plane. Okay, so if I had to show light on this and this plane, the light should come from here. So I am taking a decision change now. Ideally I should have thought of that while drawing, but that change I am making now. So we'll see what we have to do. So it is not 100% hard and fast that you cannot make any changes. Wherever, I mean, if changes are possible, why not? You're playing with your imagination, right? Okay, I mean, in certain areas, because we are changing the color scheme anyway, so it's okay. Now I want this should be little lighter. So what I do is I want some yellowish color, maybe little yellowish color, so that I get some kind of a light here. Okay, and maybe what I will do is I will cover this entirely, this yellowish color. Okay, and let's see, we may have to do some layering going forward. I don't want any hard edge for the door, so I'm just lifting on some color here. And as it goes down, I want some darker color. So what I will do is I will probably mix some brown color here. See, I want any structure, usually when where it is touching the ground, the color will start changing. Okay, so you'll have to, because there is no much sunlight falling there and a lot of vegetations might be there, so all these things will lead to darker shades at the bottom. I want to, okay, so that is it. So I don't want a lot of colors here in the door, so I'm just lifting off some color. I want to make some highlights here. I have some idea in my mind, so that I might change the color of this door. So I don't want any lot of colors underneath that area. So I am thinking, well, why not to make some darker color for the walls. So darker color means I would probably suggest some violetish color for this. I am just playing with colors now. Okay, if you really see, things are all merging here. Okay, so I want, for the bench, I want some white edge to show the top of the bed, and maybe there I want some edge, and just everything maybe I'll mix it. Little darker color, maybe little reddish. Be colorful. Usually I don't go for a lot of colors, but this time for some reason I'm going for more colors. It all depends upon what is your mood at the point of painting. Today I like to paint with colors. Now I think we need a lot of colors for the shadow also, but I'll not think of the shadows now. I'll just, for the time being, I'll just use a damp brush. Damp brush means wash it thoroughly and take out all this one in a tissue paper or a sponge. Now I'm just trying to soften the edges, that's it. Okay, we'll make a lot of changes later. So I think this part I'm done with. Still I'm getting some edges here, so I'll lift out some color from here. Okay. Now this area is wet, so I want to have some foliages washed here. So when I say foliages, I want it to be dark, and I may not go with green because this color scheme, doesn't work well with the green. So what I will do is I will make blue violetish kind of a wash here. Okay, so see, it is still really speaking, I want everything should be very merged, right? But this is somewhat dry, so what I would do is I'll wash my brush cleanly, and I'll take just some clean water and I'll just apply softly on this entire area. This time I'm applying a lot of water. Okay, you can see. You don't have to, you should not hesitate using a lot of water in watercolor. So watercolor by itself means water and color. It is not just color alone. Okay. You may find all these things, why I'm taking this decision and all. See, you should know how the water and the color, the wetness, how the combination works, etc. Because that comes only with experience. You have to keep working at different wetness levels and practice. Okay, so if you apply a thick color to a very wet surface, what will happen? If you apply a light color on a pale wash, watery wash on a wet surface, what will happen? All those things you should experiment. So it is just a common sense. It is nothing but little bit of physics. Okay, you don't have to really worry too much about all those things. It is just some amount of physics. So what I am doing is I am making cobalt blue. I want very big wash. Okay, cobalt blue, and I have dulled it with a little bit of burnt sienna. Yes, I don't want any sharp color, and just think of the larger volume. Okay, so there is a big mass here. Okay, and another big mass here, and some mass coming here. This is the time we can overwork on the work over the patch that we were seeing earlier. Okay, we were getting some patches, so all those things we can cover now. Okay, now wash it quickly. You have to do very quick wash. I am making the violet, cobalt blue, and sometimes a little bit of burnt sienna. See, all these things will merge. Okay, you don't have to really worry about all those things. All these things will merge. now if you remember, we had the big branches, so I am also suggesting the big branches now. Again I am using the same color. Okay, little bit of, maybe I'll use ultramarine little bit because I want little darker color. Okay, now you have a big branch here. Okay, a big branch that is going up. I'm just pushing it up so that I get some texture. Okay, big brush, don't worry, big brush and bold attempts. If you want, you can always define it later. Okay, now you can define these things little bit more precisely. We'll take a smaller brush. And I am defining the shapes little bit more precisely. See, some branch was hanging here. Okay, some branches were here. Okay, some branches were coming here. You don't have to be very precise. Just some suggestion will do. Trees and foliages, if you define very precisely, it will be gone. You will not get it. You will always fail if you draw them precisely. So always you need some work roughly, suggestively only. I will repeat, work only suggestively. So otherwise you will fail. There is no. Otherwise, you will have to be very, very, very realistic, taking very, very focusfully you have to do, and then that is altogether a different approach to what we are discussing now. Okay, so there could be a lot of textures now. So what I am doing is I am just taking some water and sprinkling it. I usually do this almost every time to break some uniform things. Even I wanted to make some kind of a texture here also. some variation here. I'm just using plain water. With plain water I am making some washes. Okay, so that it will give some kind of white patch or something. Okay, so I think we will wait for this to get a little bit dry, then we will decide what to do. Okay. Okay, this is not fully dry, somewhat dry, but what I would now do, I tend to do is probably I will make suggest some more branches at this time. Okay, so because then it would probably merge to certain extent. It will all merge. It will merge in the sense it will not clearly define some branches suggestion. Okay. Not fully. Okay, I think that's enough. I don't really want that it should be very precise. Now we need to do something here. That is the next step that I would try. So since I wanted some kind of light from here, as I told, I want here it should be lighter in shade. So what I will do is I'll take a little bit of orange. I think you can see it, a little bit of orange and a touch of red. Okay, touch of red, and I want this to be a tiled sort of a thing. Okay, so I'll make a little bit of, I think, vermilion instead of, oh, this is too dark. I'll take a little bit of orange and red, and I will take it here. I'm little careful that it doesn't go to this tree area, because the tree area may still be a little damp, so I don't want anything to happen with that part. Okay. Now I want this area to be a little bit more darker. I'm mixing it with a little bit of burnt sienna, and I'm just making it tiny bit darker, and I'm not really worried about the merging now. Let it, if it wants to merge, let it merge a little bit at this corner. Okay. See, it looks very colorful, but for some reason today I wanted to go a little colorful. Anyway, watercolors, they dry lighter. Okay, now while this is dry, I wanted, if you look at the reference, okay, you find that these things are all merged and it is little darker. So I wanted to make that little darker. So what I do is, I again, as we did earlier, I'll take some white plain water. Okay, and now I want this whole thing should kind of merge together. That means burnt sienna, this, whatever the tree tone we took, violet, all those things should gradually merge, and I want some kind of a mystic I mean, kind of I feel that it is all merging into this. I'll take a larger brush now, because I don't want that much of clarity there. This all can merge now. Let the bench be there. We'll see what we can do for the benches, but the other things I wanted, it should all merge. These are all not very interest. There is no much interest there. In fact, these are supposed to be little merging, I think, if you look at the reference. Okay, now I want a lot of shadows playing role. Okay, if you really look at, there will be some shadow, darker shadow here, but I wanted to make some lighter shadows and to entire this area. So that is how we do that is, we have to see these foliages. When the light comes from this end, this will somehow cast I mean, the foliages will cast shadow here, and this entire thing will cast shadow here. So some lighter shadow to very large bunch of shadows will happen there. So for the lighter shadows, maybe you can use little bit lighter color, because there is some lot of sunlight might be coming here. And as it comes towards the bottom, it might be a little bit more violetish blue, I would prefer here. Okay, I would want to make it a little bit more. See, I don't know, for some reason today I wanted to go for a lot of colors. See, all this should be connecting. All this should be connecting. Okay. See, whatever white space that you are seeing here, they all belong to the gaps in the foliage. There are no much gaps, in fact, but that ideally they belong to the gap. They are corresponding to the gap. Okay. Things are all merging now. Much. I always like to do that. Some accumulation is happening here. Mix that. This also I don't want very clear definition. Little things should all merge for this also. This also is under the shadow, so only let some amount be clear here. Okay, I think we are getting into it now. Let us now get into the details. Okay, so we have to do the details here for the shadows. When I say shadows, it is the undershadow of this reference, undershadow, all these things. It should be little reasonably dark, so I am using little bit of burnt sienna. I am just mixing with whatever is there, whatever red is there, and we need some dark blue to match with that. So I am using ultramarine blue to make it dark. Now let us, so you have to be a little precise here. So I am just adding some shape, some shadow shape which is not there in the reference, just to show that there are some, usually in the, for the tiles you have some kind of this extension. Okay, you might have seen it in some other works, some other scenes. Now you here I want this to be merging with whatever is this color. I don't want this to be defined well. Okay. Now let this be like this. Now we need some there is some counter or something here, so let that be defined. So how that is, yeah, maybe we don't have to worry too much. We'll see if we need to do anything there. Now we have to think of this particular stuff. Okay, so let this be dry. Just trying to merge it there. Okay, now we can go for the gates, I think. Okay, so I'll go for the gates. You have to be a little precise now. I thought I may not use this brush, but I am using this brush. This is a little narrower. Again, thicker consistency of burnt sienna I am using. There are a lot of water here. I am just taking out some water, cleaning it, because I don't want very light color there. And go for a little bit of burnt sienna. Okay. Now you have to be a little careful about the strokes. I'm just suggesting something there. Okay. Now it should have This much is enough for the gate. Okay, now we need another gate which is partly opening. I'm little worried if I'm giving too much details now today, but that will be, I think, another learning for you. I don't have to really worry about all those details. And one thing I would worry here is the kind of shadow that it is making. It should make a shadow. It should hook properly to the ground. And okay, now this also should be making a shadow, I think. This is there, so it may be making some shadow there. I want to define it very well. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, now we have some auto here. We need to give some definition to that. So for the auto, is it big? Oh no problem. I'm just trying to define the auto now. Okay. Yeah. I think it is too dark. I'm just trying to make it little whitish. Okay, so this I have tried to make the front glass of the auto, the black portion and all. I'll make the other things. I'll make it once this is dry. Okay, now I think we'll have to go for this door. So we'll have to now go a little faster. If you have some black color, you can use it, but otherwise I'll trying to use whatever color that I am having, whatever I mentioned that I'll be using, those colors I'll be using. And there is some dark opening here. I don't know what it is. I'll make this area a little darker anyway. Here I'll use some color, some other color. Now here I need a little bit more suggestion. Okay. Now we need something at the base of this. Okay. Something at the base of this. Some brown color, I think will do. Some shadow, because it might cast some shadow. Not casting shadow, it will be some darker area here. Don't ask me what exactly it is that is, because it should all see whatever structure is there, it should all hook somewhat firmly to the ground. I am just trying to suggest those color change there. will all see. I don't want to make much things precise there. I want this to be little attractive. That is the reason I made all these color decisions and all. Now we can make the people, and we can probably finish it. Okay, so but let's see. Let us make the details to this photo. Some details to this auto so that it looks to be getting little distracted, I mean little off, but I think it's okay. Okay, we'll have to make some yellowish tone later. I forgot to do that. So I don't want any flat black there, so I'm just trying to take out some of this color so that it looks a little diffused. Everywhere some lost edges always looks good. Just okay. Now let this be there. Now I'm not happy with this area, in fact. Okay, let us focus on some other area and we'll come back to this area. Maybe I'll make the tiles now. Okay, I'm little afraid that this is taking more time, but I think it is okay. Very light touching. Somewhere it is I am making harder touch, but probably they are mistakes. But I have modified it to a certain extent. It was not a tile building at all. So we'll have to do some more things there. Now let us make some people. So these distant people, maybe it is best if we make it in some blue. Okay, so I'm making human blue. Walking towards us. Okay. Maybe there are more people. somebody is there at the other side of this one. Now we have to make some details. I would take yellow ochre to make some definition to this auto. Okay. I think that's it for auto. That much is sufficient for the auto, and we need some color for this door. I want it should be little a different color. So what I will do is I'll take some white and mix with cerulean blue, so that it looks little different. Okay, I really do not know if this is going to work. I'm not happy with this. I just want something to bleed through. I don't know why. And, I'm not happy with this, but let it be. Okay, now we have to make somebody sit here. This, if you find it very time consuming, you can stop doing now and then take a break and then continue. That would be ideal because if it is taking beyond certain amount of time, then you will lose all those your interest, your inspiration. Then take time. This is very dark. No problem. I don't know, he's just sitting in certain position. I use some direct pigment here, which is making it very, very contrasty. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not worrying too much. See, these are the impulsive decisions which may not work. This is for the bench. Okay. You have to hook it properly. Though it is already on the shadow, so you should not see all these shadows, but sometimes just to just to give some suggestion, I used to give all these things. Okay, now we can make some more people and we will finish it. Okay, we will make some one or two people in the nearby. For the first time I am taking some green. Probably I am mixing it with some color here. This doesn't work. These characters will probably a lady, again some thick orange, I don't know what she is doing. She may be talking to this guy or something. Okay. Now there could be some guy here. Some something, I don't know what it is. I think we will finish it off. I am getting little bit of I'm losing focus, so I think I will finish it off. Ideally, what I would have thought is I would have applied one more layer of what you call it as darker tones. I think I will do that. What you do is take some violetish, bluish, very light tone. Okay. And you in fact you should see a lot of darker shadows here. See, it is under the tree. Okay, So you will find lot of shadows falling onto this, lot of shadows falling onto that, and here also it is a different plane, so altogether it will be little lighter. So I wanted to show that this is under a lighter object, so that the light is only here. I think we have spoiled it a bit, but okay. I'll slightly remove it. See, these are all some techniques you can use going forward when you think that certain things have gone bad. So I think this is what the finished work is. Some final touches, what I would do is I would just make some darker lines. Maybe rather than darker lines, I will use a little bit of white color, and I will just make some directional lines so that they will lead the eye. Okay, so that is now some white touches for all these. I think we are done pretty much. Okay, so what is last? We'll put the signature. We put the signature. We put the signature here. So if you really look at the original, this one, there are a lot of things hanging around. So if you want, you can make it, but I wouldn't make all those steps now, because that at this energy level, it is very likely that those things will get spoiled. So I'll not do all those things. I just finish it for now. Okay, so I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay, so we'll call it as done. So we have, I want this to be very light, very dark now. Okay, I think we'll call it as done. So we'll hope you have learned quite a bit from this particular session. See, this whether this came out really nice or bad, I don't know, but I had fun in doing this. So that is what is most important. Whether you like it, not like it, it's a secondary thing. But you're learning a lot whenever you do something and you spend some time trying to understand watercolor, you learn a lot of things. So I'm taking out the tape now. So let us see how it looks with that bright edges. Usually when you take out the tape, it looks better. I just okay, this is the final work now. Hope you found it useful. So I think since final some touches I can make to get some accent to the auto. Okay, I think that's okay. Okay, so that was it for today's session. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much.